Never give up. The mindset that changes everything. Now let me tell you, this isn't going to be one of those fluffy motivational speeches. We're going to get real here. Life can be messy, it can be brutal, and most of the time, the path to success isn't glamorous. It's grit, it's grind, and it's those late nights where you're doubting everything. And the only thing keeping you going is that voice in the back of your head saying, "You can do this. Don't stop." Today, I want to dive into something that every one of us needs at some point or another, whether you're grinding on your dreams, starting a business, or just trying to get through life when things get tough. Today, we're talking about the power of never giving up. Yeah, you've heard it before, but I want to break it down. I want to show you exactly why pushing forward is worth it, and how to keep going when everything around you is telling you to quit. Part 1. The real reason people give up. So let's get into it. Why do people give up in the first place? I mean, think about it. We start with big dreams, huge visions of where we're headed. But somewhere along the way, when the going gets tough, we back off. Why? It's because when we start, we don't usually think about the grind. We think about the rewards. We picture ourselves at the top, but we forget that the road up the mountain is steep and slippery. And look, this is normal. It's human nature to want the destination without the hard journey. But here's the thing. Success isn't just the result. Success is the journey. Let's take a moment and look at some real stories. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. She was a single mother living on welfare, facing rejection after rejection from publishers. But she kept writing. She kept knocking on those doors. She faced enough rejections to make anyone feel like, all right, maybe this isn't for me. But she pushed on, and now Harry Potter is a global phenomenon, and she's one of the best-selling authors of all time. Part 2. Embracing failure as a stepping stone. Here's the truth. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every time you fall, every time you fail, it's actually a stepping stone. Most people don't realize this, and that's why they quit. Imagine this. Let's say you're on a long journey, and you fall and scrape your knee. The pain makes you want to stop, right? But if you turn back, you'll never know what's at the finish line. Each failure is like a signpost telling you, keep going. You're on the right path. You're learning. You're growing. Think about the greats. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he successfully invented the light bulb. He once said, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's a mindset shift. Failures are experiments. They're ways to get closer to the real answer. Part 3. Building resilience. Alright, so we know failure is part of the journey. But how do you build the resilience to keep going? How do you keep that fire alive, even when things seem impossible? Number 1. Remember your why. Why did you start in the first place? Why does this matter to you? Your why is like your anchor. When the storm hits, your why is what will keep you grounded. Maybe you're building something for your family, or maybe it's a passion you've had since you were a kid. Whatever it is, your why is your power source. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning and keeps you moving when the road gets rough. Number 2. Break down your big goals into smaller steps. One of the biggest reasons people quit is because the goal feels too big. Imagine looking up at Mount Everest from the bottom. It's terrifying, right? But what if you only focused on getting to the next base camp? And then the one after that? Suddenly, a mountain turns into a series of steps. So if you have a big goal, take it one step at a time. Don't worry about the entire journey. Just focus on the next step. Part 4. Staying consistent. The little wins matter. Here's a secret. Consistency beats intensity every single time. People think motivation is what keeps you going, but motivation is like a spark. It can be powerful, but it's temporary. What really keeps the fire going is discipline, it's consistency. If you keep showing up day in, day out, that's where the real change happens. Think of it like working out. If you go to the gym once and lift weights for hours, you might feel great, but it won't make a difference in the long run. But if you go every day for 30 minutes, over time, you're going to see real, powerful results. It's those little wins, stacking up over time, that get you to where you want to go. Part 5. Surrounding yourself with the right people. And here's a big one. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Think of it this way. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by people who give up easily, who complain, who focus on the negatives, you're going to absorb that energy. But if you're around people who push themselves, who encourage you, who are chasing their own dreams, you'll feel that energy, and it'll fuel you. Imagine being on a road trip with friends. If everyone's pumped up, the journey feels easier, right? But if they're complaining, it makes every bump in the road feel bigger. So find those people who keep you moving forward, who keep you excited about where you're going. Part 6. Remember that success is closer than you think. Finally, and I really want you to take this to heart, you're often closer to success than you think. Most people give up when they're just inches away from a breakthrough. It's like digging for treasure. You dig and dig and dig, and then one day, you throw down the shovel thinking, I'm never going to find it. But if you had just gone 1 foot deeper, there it was, all along, right under the surface. So when you're feeling tired, when you're thinking about quitting, ask yourself, what if I'm just 1 step away? So if you're out there chasing something big, and you're feeling that weight, I want you to remember, don't quit. Keep going. You have no idea just how powerful you are, just how close you might be to reaching your dreams. Every failure, every setback, every time you feel like giving up, it's just part of the journey. It's preparing you for what's waiting on the other side. Remember, you're not alone in this. Everyone who's done something incredible has felt the exact same way. The difference? They just kept going. So go out there. Keep fighting. Don't give up on yourself, because greatness is closer than you think.